Good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, May 13th, and we are getting at right at the data here for this QOL pre-market analysis. And let's just see what we have here. We've got core PPI 1%. And I knew that these numbers are going to kind of match what happened yesterday. The PPI month over month is 1.4%. I have to imagine that initially that's going to be not good for the markets, but we're waiting for some pullbacks. We need these pullbacks. We had a little bit of a catalyst yesterday with South Korea talking about taxing AI and retracting. So the market had a good flush and then it rebounded towards the end of the day. But I think it's going to start to get a little volatile right now. President Trump is in China right now meeting with Xi. So there should be some activity there. And Kevin Warsh got through the Senate yesterday. So I think there's some volatility that's about to start happening here for us right now. You do have, some more. He got through the Senate yesterday, so now he's going through the House here later on today. I don't anticipate any hurdles. I think he'll get through, but we'll see what happens there. There is some Fed speak. I thought I saw some Fed speak. Yeah, here at about 10:30. And then the rest of the week, you have retail sales tomorrow, and that is unemployment claims as well. And then Friday, I don't think there's anything on the docket for Friday. So let's get right into it. If you are new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, and like this video. And then down in the description below, you can join our Discord community. And then in the Discord community, it's free. And then if you want to upgrade to our live trading room, I'll show you how to get there in a minute. But actually, we could do that real quick right now. So if we, let's just try to find where we're at here. So if you go to the website, QOLtrading.com, you can click on the Discord here, or you can hit that link down below. And then when you get on the, when you join the Discord community, you'll see this page right here. And these are our main channels that we have here. This pre-market analysis here, I post every morning a link to get you to where we are right now. And then below that, you have levels. So if you want me to go over any other levels that I don't cover in my pre-market analysis, you can put down in the chat and drop a comment, or leave a comment in here and I'll cover it. I do not cover any penny stocks though, however. And then if you, after you're in the channel for a little bit, if you want to upgrade and you want to come into our live trading room from 9:30 to 11 a.m. Eastern time, you click down here to get trade access. This kind of walks you right through it. You click on this link right here, and it'll get you to the sign up Discord page. And then you can get access right here to the QOL trading desk, of which we are in there from 9:30 to 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern time. And we go over options trades and also this new indicator that we've been beta testing, which has been working out fantastic. So anyways, let's get back into our regular stuff here. So the VIX, we'll talk about the VIX real quick. VIX is still kind of flat. It's below the 20-day moving average. We had a spike yesterday and it pulled back down. Still has this gap up from the 11th, trying to fill at $17.19. What is that? $17.19. There are still some gap downs that we've had here. One from April 8th, $25.74. And then the last one that we have here is from March 30th at $30.34. So if it spikes up there, where at one point I imagine the VIX is going to spike, the equity markets are going to pull back, right? So let's get into oil. Let's check our oil lately. So Brent crude is above 100. Above the 20-day moving average at $104.57 a barrel. Not healthy for the marketplace. I would anticipate if it does pop up to this 109, get a little resistance before it pulls back. I think there could be some action this week, though, depending on how it comes out of China right now. And here's crude. Crude is above $102 a barrel. Not good. Here's the 20 and the 50. The $20-day moving average for price per barrel is $97.49. And 50 days at 96.18. We'd like to see that below here, below the $100 mark, so our pocketbooks can get a little relief. Anyways, let's get into the ES. ES all-time highs here, 74, 54, 75. We have this Fibonacci extension level at 74, 85, 70. It's at 161.8% Fibonacci level. I'd like to see some pullbacks. Obviously, everybody would. I think if you lose yesterday's low, come down to the 73, 27, 25 as your first line of support there. I actually like this high here, set at the beginning, the first day of May, 7,375. I also like that because psychological number 7,300. You have a point of control just below that at 72.62.94, and the 20-day moving average is 72.49.26. My levels have not changed, people, so we're at uncharted territories on the high side, and I will not change the levels down below us until we come and we start to test these levels. So take a screenshot if you want, and then we can move on. All right, good enough. Good. Let's go over to our SPY. SPY is getting some sell-off right now, like we thought. Had this level here yesterday, 731.75, came down to a perfect T. I didn't even touch this morning. I opened it up. I'm like, oh, wow, what a great level I had. Lose that 731.25, come on down to the 724.87. It's a high from the beginning of May. See where it comes down here. It's a break and retest level. I would like that level for a hold. If you lose that, you do have the 20-day moving average just below it at 717.91. And then below that, you have an all-time high from the original all-time, not original, but one of the all-time highs at 714.46. And then we do have some open point of controls down here you have to be aware of. 708.40 is one from April 24th. And then you have all kinds of support in here. Again, take a shot here. This is the last open point of control we have down here at 682.26. Take a screenshot, people, put it on your charts. They will not move until they start getting pierced. So let's get over the NASDAQ. NASDAQ's a bit sloppier if I have to take a look at things. Again, we are, here's your all-time high, 29,480. And then we did bounce right off. Actually, we didn't bounce off anything. That's where I measure my Fibonacci level. So still respecting this high area right now. Yesterday, the levels didn't really do much here on this 28,944.75 level. It did give us some nice respect after it broke it and probably hit all these stops right here. So I'm going to leave that level up there right now. You can see where the high comes in here on the 7th of last week. So we'll leave that up there today, and we'll see what happens. If we're going to pull it or not. Then you have this post market high that I have down here. It did not get tested. It got tested the day after, but we'll see what happens if the market starts to pick up some steam and come on down here to the 20-day. I like the 20-day moving average, 27,792.56. So same thing, people. Take a snapshot of things. I know some of this looks a little noisy, but these will not change until we start penetrating these levels here. Okay, let's get into the Qs, and we'll get on to Tesla, and we will get on with our day. So Qs, same thing on the Qs. I do have this level up here. It's call it 750, and this is a regressional trend line, and it started on October 13th, 2022. So I like that level there. I do like this Fibonacci 127% pullback. Once you broke through that, I like this as a pullback long. I don't have really much in here. This is all, to me, not a lot of support in here. I mean, I could draw some lines here. You could draw a line at the high here where it meets this 700 level, right? The psychological level. But I think if you lose 700, I think you're quickly coming on down to the 674. And then you start coming into the 20-day moving average, 669.52. And then below that, let me see, I don't mind this level either. It's this is a post-market high on April 26th. Not a bad level. You could see there was the high, broke through it, came down, nice support there. So I like this level. I'm going to leave that 666.64 in there. And then if we lose that, we have, actually, I don't even like this level. I'm going to remove that. I like us to come down to 656.53. This is a beautiful level, if you ask me. It is a low from April 24th, and it also coincides with the midline regressional trend line that I have here from April of 2025, right? So that's not bad either. So again, I don't see a lot here. If we lose yesterday's low, Actually, even 700, I think we're going to come down to the 674. So anyways, let's get over to Tesla. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, and like this video. So Tesla's been creating a lot of speed zones everywhere. So yesterday, I said that we had this speed zone from the 11th, from Monday rather. So that I said that if we lost this level right here, actually I think I had it up at that level right there at 434.07, that we would come on down and fill this speed zone here, and it filled it like a champ, right? And then it turned around and it went higher. And I'm going to show you something with the new indicator that identified that the bottom was in yesterday, which was really fantastic. Same thing on the upside here. So this, when you have one straight move, I talk about this all the time, it creates a speed zone. Well, same thing on the downside here. We had a nice little downside here with no buying, creating a nice little speed zone from yesterday. So here's your line in the sand. If you get above, I would say, for the speed zone, I would say right here, this is probably going to be a good level here. I'm going to say for the speed zone to start. So if you get above this 435.70, 79, I think you could push back up into that 445 level and get that speed zone here. So you got a couple levels of issues here. This 439.74 is January high from earlier this year. So it'll probably give you a little resistance here. If you do get through this level, you can push. I get $4 of a push into that 439.74. And then if you can get some steam, I think you can come back and you can fill this speed zone that was created yesterday. So I'm going to take this speed zone off. I just wanted to show it to everybody how we had this on our charts yesterday before the market opened, right? So we'll get rid of that. So now we still have this open speed zone, and it's almost like a gap down type chart that I do here when I identify these speed zones here. This is yesterday's close, bouncing off of yesterday's close. I think if you open up and you're below yesterday's close, this 431.20, hopefully it can give you some support. It's a high from last Friday. If you lose that, you have some support down here, 424.06. It gave you the good support yesterday. Actually, I had this level in here during yesterday as well. But I came back and looked at the charts yesterday. I was done trading by the time this move happened here. But if you do lose 424.06, here's the beginning of that speed zone that was created the other day, 422.89. And if you lose that, I think you had this 414.5. And this is a monster level, this 414.5. This was up on the charts for a long time, and we had trouble getting through it, and we finally got through it. And then it came back, and it gave us some support down here on Friday, popped right through it on Friday. So it was a big purge here. Also keep in mind, Musk is with Trump in China. So some people could view that as positive for the stock. So, be careful looking for pullback longs. We do have the 100-day moving average sitting at 409.52 and the 200 sitting at 405.67. So if you do get that pullback, there is some decent levels here of support. Take a snapshot of it. Let me just give you some better lines here. Take a snapshot, put it on your charts. I'm not going to move them. Same thing until the market gives us some movement here. We do have an open point of control up here at 458.84. That was from January of this year. And then above that, the last open point of control we have is 478.39. Unfortunately, we still have this open point of control down here from September 4th of last year at 333.97. And we all know how Tesla moves. Just when you think Tesla is going to go to the moon, it pulls back another 30, 40 points. So, these big moves here, you could see how they just retrace themselves, right? So you had a good push up here, pull back, push, pull back. So maybe we are still stir-stepping here a little bit, right? So you got to pay attention. Even though there's some vicious moves here, it's still holding up pretty nicely, right? So now I want to get into this new indicator that we've been talking about right now. And let me clean this up, clean that, and boom. Give us a 5 minute. So this was yesterday. Beautiful trades yesterday. So I'm going to make this big. So while the market was opening, here is your 5 minute opening range. It actually coincides with this speed zone that I just drew as well. So you had the range yesterday, and the range was 439.5 to 444. And so right here, after you got, let me just see something here real quick. Yep. So then right here, this arrow, these arrows, I did not draw any of these arrows, this yellow line, this dotted line here, all of this is populated automatically. So what you see here, this blue dotted line here, this solid blue line here, this green dash, all these dashes here, this purple, this is all populated from the indicator that we have. And it's all generated. So when the first 5 minutes, as the market moves up and down, these lines are moving until this first 5 minutes is identified. And then these are stationary the rest of the day. And then, so this is the first part. Identify the 5-minute opening range. Then the 5-minute range is identified. Now you're looking for a break either way. So now yesterday, it gave it, and by the way, this gray line in here, I didn't draw that either. That's automatically populated. And what this gray line is, it's the midline of the 5-minute opening range. So you can base trades off. There's so many different ways to base trades off of this. All right. So here was this solid green arrow pointing up was the break of the 5-minute opening range, right? So you could have gotten in this trade. You could have had some price targets up there that you were going for. And then right here, this yellow dot came up here and told you that you exit your calls because your trade is done. And it probably did that because it probably broke the midline of the 5-minute opening range, telling you that volume has pushed down now and that long entry is over. So now, right here, it gave us another entry, though, on this wick for a call. And it was a tiny arrow, so this is considered an early entry, right? But then it popped up, and then the signal came for an early entry on the downside. And then the solid red gave you the solid entry of the break, right? So then there was a little choppiness in here, and then it finally gave you the signal that you were looking for, and then everything else was history. You broke the 439 level. You could have had your first target at 435, and then below that, 434, and then your second target came in at 431. So $8 move would have generated about $4, right? So now here's what I want to show you at the towards the end of the day. Where is it? Right here. This spot right here was, I ain't blowing it for us here. So this right here, let me see if I can. This little yellow line right here, excuse me, this little yellow box right here is a signal that populated and told me that your shorts are done. Right here. It came up and it showed you the volume, and that populated on the screen. I did not put that there. And so now after that came in, that told you you're not looking for pullback, a pop and fade here anymore. This told me yesterday, okay, this trade is over. So now look what happened. At the end of the day, that came up and we never looked back. You kind of tested a little bit here on this candle, but from this signal here at 425, you rallied up another $10 from there. So there's all kinds of things that we're still analyzing with this trade, but the main part of this trade is right here. This is where your money is made. So it's identifying your moves, and then it's telling you when your move is done. And now, so it gives you an early entry. It tells you when your move is over, and then the bigger candles the bigger arrows are telling you where that trade is, the main part of the trade is coming in, right? So you can see here's a big green arrow that's telling you that's where the main part is. Here's an early entry right here. This solid red right here you can't see. This is the main part of the trade telling you get into the trade, and then your stop is going to be up at that midpoint range, right? So we are still doing this. So if you come and join the Discord community and you join that trade room, this is what we are going over in the trade room. So that being said, let's talk about what we look at in the trade room. When we're in the trade room, this is what you're going to have on your screen. And then I flip-flop back and forth, and I put these other indicators on the screens so you can see how we're trading. So this is the screen, the trading screen, that when you're in the trade room, what you'll see and then you ask questions, and I go over everything while I'm trading. I talk about my entries, my stops, and then my take profits. And if you notice the in the sequence that I just told you, that my entry, my stop, my take profit. It's not entry, take profit, and stop. It's the first thing I look at. I actually look at where's my stop going to be before I actually enter the trade. So I could say, where's my stop, where's my entry, and then where's my take profit, right? Because that's what I'm identifying. I'm identifying my risk reward type of a trade. So for today, we're going to start with today's expiration date, which is the 13th. 435 calls I'm going to start with, and I'm going to start with the 430 puts. You could see where the premium closed here for for those of you that trade options. If your call, if you want the market to go up, you're buying a call. If you think the market's going down, you're buying a put. So my strategy is not selling puts, selling calls. It's always buying calls and buying puts, right? So you know what your exposure is going to be. So if I bought a one lot here, the worst I can lose is $400. If I bought a one lot here, the worst I can lose is $475, right? So you know what your exposure is, right? So that's what we're going to start with today. And then, so yesterday we went over what a beautiful trade that was yesterday. If you were patient, I actually made money on both sides yesterday. I made money on the original call, and then I made money when we finally broke here. And if you look at this holistically, what a beautiful trade it was yesterday, right? So you could just see market broke, came back up here, tested it, and this was the ultra confirmation right here. And that confirmation came in at 9:20. So not even an hour after the market was open, and boom, sayonara ever since, right? So now today, new day. So now you got to see where the markets are going to take us. Ideally, I'd like to see the market sell off and maybe look for an area to get long. Here is this is yesterday's close right there, 433.45. And then this is the day before close at 428. 428.35. So these levels I have up here on my chart. Actually, where is that 438 coming from? This is actually coming from this is Friday's close. This 428.35. So this is a pretty good level. If we pull back down here, not a bad level either. This is yesterday's close. This is 2 days prior to that, right? So watch those levels right there for good support. Same thing, just make sure that you have these levels that I have up here. This is a low from yesterday. Here's a low from Friday. These are going to be some big levels if the market pulls back there. Now, if we get up, if we push, like I said, I like this 458.84 target later on. Maybe later on this week if we can get some good news coming out of China, right? So, but anyways, that's going to be it for today. Again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel. Hit that thumbs up button, like this video. Come on into the Discord, and everything. A lot of things will start making sense to you. I know that for a lot of people that come in here, people say to me, "Oh, it's too advanced for me," and I can see that. I get that. But if you've been coming to this pre-market analysis every day, you see it's rinse and repeat. I go over the same things every day, and that's what trading is about. You find something that works for you, you stay consistent, and as Bruce Lee says, I'd be scared of a man that practices one move 10,000 times versus a man that has 10,000 moves, right? So that's why I focus on just Tesla. There's enough liquidity in here. You don't have to have 20 different stocks up here to trade. So anyways, that's going to be it for today. If I don't see you in the trade room, have a great day, and I'll see everybody tomorrow.